Tracer.
I'm already Tracer.
What about Widowmaker?
I'm already Widowmaker.
I'll be Bastion.
Nerf Bastion.
You're Edsel Winston.
I wanna be Winston.
I guess I'll be Genji.
I'm already Genji.
Then I'll be McCree.
I already chose McCree.
Hello, my darlings, and welcome to a new episode of Girls Gone Mild. I hope everyone's enjoying their Thursday evening. Thursday! I apologize, we didn't do a podcast last night. For various reasons, I've been busy, and I just completely forgot about it. Whoops! But this month is going to be interesting because we're going to be talking about all the women around the world. Well, not really, but it is Women History Month. And I thought this month I would love to talk about certain people that I got to know over the past couple years, well, for all my life. And then we would talk about certain women wrestlers. This week we're going to be talking about Becky Lynch. But before we do that, I wanted to give a good shout out to the lovely lady who did this duet with me, as you saw at the beginning. Her name on TikTok is The Real Care, which I have promoted her before. She has an OnlyFans. You should go check that out. And if you do have a TikTok, go check her out. Like I said, her TikTok name is The Real Care. She's funny and something else. Now, I want to do how this is going to work this month is, like I said, since it is Women's History Month, I would like to give good shout outs to 3 people that I know and then talk about mostly about women's wrestlers at the end of the podcast. Like I said, we're going to be talking about Becky Lynch. So the first of 3 that I'd love to give a good shout out to, who I known this young lady for a long time. Met her back in 2009 when I used to live in California. I want to give a good shout out to my good friend, Savannah Tannehill. She is a great person. At one point, we were a couple. Good 3 years. But then we decided that we were just good as friends. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think there's nothing wrong with still being friends with your exes. Unless they torture you all your life. I don't know. But she's a great person. She works at GameStop in California. I don't know which one, though. So don't have me at that. Last time I talked to her, because I do talk to her from time to time. Last time I talked to her, she was telling me that she was planning to become a nurse, which I still believe she's still doing that. If she's not, Savannah, if you're listening to this, I do apologize. You need to tell me what you're really doing, so I won't mess up again. Whatever. But she's a great person. She loves tattoos. Her boyfriend's treating her right. Not coming after you. But I always have those chicks back, no matter what. Well, I'm gonna have everyone's back. But she's one of those people who I hold close in my heart because she was always there for me when I was going through my hard times. And I was always there for her when she was going through her hard times. So, Savannah, I hope you're listening to this. I love you. And this first shout out goes to you. Wow. This next shout out met this lovely lady back in 2016. I think that was the year before I moved out to Ohio. We did one show together. It was Guys and Dolls, and she was my stage wife. Yes, the shout out goes to my stage wife in California, Lily Edwards. Lily, I hope you're doing great, and I am so proud of you, and I'm so glad that you are still acting. I hope one day that we can do something together soon. She also has a YouTube channel, by the way, so if you want to check her out, I will leave her YouTube channel description in the description. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'll leave it in the description if you want to check her out. She has a beautiful voice. And she also has a show this coming weekend. So for all of you California lovers, you're in for a treat. So this weekend, she's going to be in the Putnam County Spelling Bee, which is awesome because I have done that show before. I did my dream role in that one. I did the show back in 2015. I was William Barfay. Oh, God. I wish I could do that show again. But she's doing a show in California. Top Hat is doing the show. And I believe she's playing Leaf Coney Bear. Lily, if I'm getting that wrong, I apologize. I believe last time when I checked the cast list, you were playing Leaf Coney Bear. If that's changed, let me know. But her show is March 4th, March 5th, March 6th at 8 p.m. and March 11th and March 12th at 8 p.m. So you have 5 chances to go see it. Go see it. She's amazing. And I'm sure the cast she's with is amazing as well. Yeah, check her out. So, second shout out goes to you, Lily Edwards. Amazing singer, amazing actress, all around. Check her out if you're in California, but also check out her YouTube. I encourage you. I'm one of her fans. Maybe her biggest fan. I don't know. We'll see. If you do live in California, you can also purchase tickets on their website on Top Hat. I don't know how much the tickets are because it does not say here. But if you do live in California, I would suggest if you live far away, you probably might want to leave a little bit early because traffic in California sucks. I know because I lived there for the past God knows how many years. I think 24 years, yeah. 24 years I lived out there. Traffic always sucks. So the third and final shout out for Women's History Month this week goes out to a woman who I consider a sister to me. Her and I have done a couple shows together out here in Ohio, and I wish her the very best. I know she's going to do great, and I'm glad she's still doing it till this day, acting wise. This one goes out to Marissa Cashapp. And Marissa, I hope I'm saying your last name right. If I'm not, I apologize. You can kill me later, please. Don't do it right now. Well, you can, but maybe off the air. Uh, but yeah, Marissa and I look at each other like a brother and sister thing, even though we've shared a couple of stage kisses many times. We don't talk about that show. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about that show. I'll just tell you that I I forgot the name. Oh yeah, it was the Glass Menagerie. But we don't talk about it because of reasons of people. Yeah, but she's been doing acting all her life. She also has a show this weekend. No, not this weekend. Next weekend. Sorry, I apologize. It's actually next weekend. And guess what it is? It's Romeo and Juliet. So, if you live in Ohio and live near Kent State, I suggest you go and see this show at Kent State Trouble Theater. I believe Marissa is playing Mother Capulet or Mother Montague. I'm not sure, Marissa. Please let me know if I'm wrong. Like I said, you can kill me later. Um, but yeah, I would suggest you guys go see this show. It has a great cast, a lot of good people in it. The show is March 11th, the 13th, the 18th, and the 20th. I can only assume that the show starts at 8 p.m. because it does not say in the picture. And also, I don't know how much the tickets are because it also does not say in the picture. Oh. um, but she's a great actress, and I wish her the very best. Hopefully, in the future, I'll do another show with her again. Um, we'll just see what happens. But I encourage you guys to go check her out. Go check the show out. If you live in Ohio and live near Kent State, please. I encourage everyone to support all artists. And this is what I'm doing right now. Supporting all artists, whether you're a nurse, an actress, a singer, a dancer, whatever you want to do in life. I support all my friends and all the people who have dreams, including my fans. If you guys have dreams, go out and do it for all the women. So, without further ado, let's talk about Becky Lynch. Now, I don't know if I said this before, maybe I have, but Becky Lynch happens to be one of my favorite women's wrestlers of all time. Yes, I can say wrestler, not sports entertainer. Vince McMahon cannot sue me for that. But she is my favorite women's wrestler of all time. Um, Granted, I talked about her match at the Elimination Chamber, which was awesome. I just hated the ending. I talked about her match at the Royal Rumble with Dewdrop, which was terrible. Um, I I was completely honest. Ever since Becky came back from her pregnancy, she's been having some decent matches. I mean, they weren't all great. Um, Fortunately, it's my opinion. I'm not trying to like be an asshole or anything like that. But I know some people did not agree with me on that part. But it is what it is. It's like we can't all agree on something. Um. Anyway, I. By the way, she's still the current Raw Women's Champion. If you didn't know that. But I want to talk about Becky Lynch. Because I actually watched her interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin on his Broken Skull session. I believe that's what the show's called. If it isn't, please don't at me. But I watched it, and I encourage you guys to watch it. If you have Peacock um, and are a huge wrestling fan, would suggest go watch it because it's a great interview and just all the stuff that Becky talks about is really interesting. Um, I would have never known that she had a rough life when she started becoming a wrestler. Um, it's interesting to hear that she said that her mother was not a huge fan of it when she started. Um, what really got me, um, and this is just like for me personally, when she decided to quit wrestling at an early age and go home, she asked her mother to come home, and her mother told her no, because in the end, you got to figure out what you need to do in life, and it really hurt me because it's just like wow, because as most of you know, I have went through some family shit for all my life, and for those of you who still don't know, I'm sure a lot of you know by now, but for those of you who don't know, that basically when my grandfather passed away this past year, and for me being too honest on social media, I was no longer welcome to go to the funeral, and it really hurt me, but in a way, it's a relief because I don't have to deal with the family drama anymore, and it's sad that they would rather be bitter than to let bygones be bygones. Because in the end, it's not about them. It was about my grandfather who just lost his life. Um, but they want to be selfish. And I will say that until they actually apologize to me and say, like, we were wrong, I will continue to tell them, say that they are selfish. But I am grateful that me and my sister are still talking. Um, I'm sure one of those days that her and I are gonna sit down and have a long talk about what has been going on. But anyways, back to Becky Lynch. just after she said that, it just really got me. It was just like, wow, there's just a lot of things that she went through that I went through. Um, but she quit wrestling for a while, and then went started having like little jobs there. She wasn't even a flight attendant, which is awesome. Never would see that coming. Um, but then when she got a chance to go to NXT, it's just amazing. She was afraid that it wasn't going to work, and I would never knew that Finn Balor, who is the current United States champion on the Raw roster right now, actually trained her and encouraged her like, you need to take this chance. You need to do it. And it's like, it's awesome to see that kind of thing behind the scenes, because you never would have known, hey, he did this, she did that. And like, wow, it's amazing. Um, she was saying that her time in NXT was amazing. Um, I think she was just a little scared when she got to the main roster that she was going to be lost in the shuffle, and which she kind of did. Um, she was saying that she wasn't supposed to be in the triple threat match with her, Charlotte, and Sasha at WrestleMania 32. It was just supposed to be Sasha and Charlotte, but the fans were really behind her, and so was I. And I'm glad she was added to the match. One of the best triple threat matches I've seen with the women. Um, she was saying when she got to SmackDown, I guess like when they were presenting the first SmackDown Women's Champion, which she became the first SmackDown Women's Champion, but before that, Vince and the creative team had no idea who they were going to put the title on. And when they keep hearing Becky's name from the audience, from the universe, as they call them, they said, all right, let's give Becky the title. So she became the first SmackDown Women's Champion. But after that, she just kind of got lost in the shuffle again. 2017 was a rough year for her because they were not booking her. They were not using her. They were not having her do this. And I think the main reason was she was saying the way that John Cena put it was, who are you? Who are you as a person? Who are you as a character? Probably that's why you're not getting used, because no one has no idea who you really are. And I think that really got to Becky. As she was saying that it really got to her because, in a way, like, she was pissed that John would say that to her, but in a way, she feels like he's kind of right. Like, who am I as a person? What am I doing as a wrestler, as an entertainer? Um, it's just amazing to hear these things come out of her mouth and talk about these kind of things. Um, when her supposed heel turn came in 2018 at SummerSlam, well, I guess like in a way she's saying that Charlotte was never supposed to be in that match because Charlotte went off to go have surgery or something like that, and they didn't think that Charlotte would be back in time, so they were just planning to do Becky Lynch versus Carmella. But when Charlotte came back, they added her to the match, and I guess people were not happy about that. Well, I mean, I wasn't happy about that either. And I guess this was a way to turn Becky heel, which in a way Becky said like to the creative team, that's not gonna work. The fans love me too much. They're gonna cheer me when I turn heel. Um, but they still encourage her to do it. They still encourage her to say, "Hey, just do it, and we'll go from there." So she turns heel. The fans cheer her like she was a god. Like she did. It was just amazing to see because I did watch the match. It was a good triple threat match, and I was just so proud that Becky finally did the thing. But the fans loved her. They could not boo this woman. And I think like the thing is like the creative team and Vince McMahon needs to pull their head out of their ass and see what works and what doesn't work. I just don't understand it. Like, oh, they're gonna cheer you when you attack this person. No, they're gonna no, they're gonna hate me for it. Oh, they're gonna hate you for doing this. No, they're gonna cheer me for it. It's just back and forth. I feel like Vince McMahon has no idea what to do to make a superstar anymore. But because of Becky Lynch doing that, she became like one of the top superstars of all time. That's how she became the man. That's how she became one of the top women's superstars in that company today. Just with her doing that to Charlotte, just with her winning back the SmackDown Women's Championship that year, even with her small rivalry with Ronda. This image here was made was one of the reasons why she got on top. When she got knocked out, well, I mean, technically punched in the face by Nia Jax and started bleeding all over the place, this is what made her unstoppable. Uh, I still remember that day when I watched it. It's like, Jesus Christ. This woman may have a concussion, but she looks like a total badass. And unfortunately, we never got that match between her and Ronda. We might in the future, but I don't know how people are going to feel about it when it does finally come to a pay per view. Um, I don't know, but she is on top of the world, and I wish that I wish we did get that match at WrestleMania 35 between her and Ronda, but unfortunately, Vince McMahon had our ideas. We had to add Charlotte to the mix. Now, mind you, I don't have any problem with Charlotte. I think she is a great superstar, and I think she's great. But we don't need to see Charlotte as a champion all the freaking time. Give Charlotte something else to do. Um, but their match at WrestleMania 35 wasn't that great. I mean, Becky Lynch won both championships at 1 o'clock in the morning. It was too long, and I felt like having WrestleMania that long really killed the momentum of that match, since they were the main event. They were the first three women, Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair, to main event the whole entire show. And because of it being too long, I think it really killed the momentum. But I'm glad that Becky Lynch won the match. But whew, damn. So Becky Lynch held the Raw Women's Champion back in 2009 throughout the whole year. Had some great matches. My favorite matches of hers that year was against Sasha Banks inside Hell in a Cell. It was amazing. I encourage you guys to go watch that if you do got Peacock and are a wrestling fan. Their Hell in a Cell match in 2019 with her and Sasha Banks was awesome. So you should guys watch that. Um, she was unstoppable, and then 2020 came along, and that's the year when COVID happened. Um, it's amazing because I don't know if she got pregnant during WrestleMania or not. I don't know. I don't think she knew she was pregnant. But the idea for her was, since COVID happened and they were not performing in front of people at the time, and WrestleMania was. I did not watch WrestleMania that year because I just couldn't watch the product if there was nobody in the audience watching. It just kind of killed the matches for me. But she really wanted to drop that title to Shayna Baszler. If you don't know who Shayna Baszler is, she used to be in the UFC. She's an MMA fighter, former NXT Women's Champion. She was a killer, Shayna Baszler, and Vince McMahon ruined her. But Becky Lynch wanted to drop the title to her, but unfortunately Vince McMahon didn't want to, so she retained the title at WrestleMania. A month later, she relinquishes the title because she's going out to have a baby girl. And her daughter is beautiful and adorable. And so long and behold, Becky Lynch was off for a good year and a half. And then she comes back in 2021 at SummerSlam last year, and they finally turned her heel. And I'm enjoying her heel run. She is awesome on the mic. I still think she's a fantastic worker. It's just that I don't think some of her matches that were great when she came back. I did love, however, that they ended this interview with her friendship with Charlotte Flair, even though they're not really close anymore. Um, I can only assume that the way she was talking about it is that when they feuded back in 2018, that there were some things that Becky Lynch said to her that didn't really sit well with Charlotte. Um, they showed a clip of, which I hate. I hate this kind of thing. I hate that, when the draft comes along and one of the champions is going to the other brand. Because at the time when they got drafted, before they got drafted, Becky was the SmackDown Women's Champion and Charlotte was the Raw Women's Champion. And when they both were drafted to the opposite shows of theirs, they had to switch the belts as well. So Becky had to give her championship to Charlotte. Charlotte had to give her championship to Becky. And it was interesting because they showed the clip of how, because I guess originally it was supposed to be like Becky's supposed to grab the belt, uh, and just have both belts just be like Becky two belts again, and then she would throw her SmackDown Women's Championship to Charlotte. But I guess she was saying that Charlotte went into business for herself. Charlotte just threw her title on the floor, and it was just nuts. And I guess Becky even said that they got heated. I mean, they got into an argument in the backstage area. Um, it's just amazing because they used to be really close, and now they're not. I think it just reminds me, when I was close with some people back in high school, and then we started falling apart after that. It's just those things like, you know what, people are meant to come into your life for a reason, whether they're your friends, your family, or just your mortal enemy. Friendships don't always last long. The ones that do last long, they're meant to be like that for the rest of your life. And it's just sad because you can tell by past videos like in 2017 that they were really close. They were really close with each other. They were doing funny videos with each other. I think it just became more of an ego that Charlotte, I don't know. This is just me talking. This is just my opinion. I feel like now that Becky was becoming a bigger star than Charlotte didn't like that. And it's eating Charlotte up inside that Becky is way more popular than Charlotte is. Um, but that's not Becky's fault, and I wouldn't blame it on Charlotte either. The creative and Vince McMahon, gave Charlotte the throne in a way, and now that Becky is up there with her, Charlotte doesn't like that because she feels like she's the only person now that can carry this women's division, which is not true. They just gave her that mindset. But like I said, I have nothing against Charlotte because she's still great in what she does. But Becky is one of my all-time favorites, and I really enjoyed this interview with her and Stone Cold Steve Austin. This was amazing. But yeah, so I doubt Becky Lynch is listening to this, but if she is, Becky, I love you, and I hope you retain your Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania against Bianca Belair. But I hope it's gonna be a great match to see. Um, but yeah, I just want to honor her in my first week on this podcast, Women's History Month. So I thought be a nice gesture to do. Well, I think this podcast went well today. We talked about my favorite women's wrestler of all time, Becky Lynch. We gave good shout outs to 3 people I know. I'm planning to do this for the rest of the month. Give 3 shout outs to women I know and talk about women's wrestler after that. I don't know who I'm going to be talking about next week as a wrestler, but we'll see how that goes. But, just wanted to also say this that WWE 2K22 is coming next week, and I'm so excited to be playing the game and showing off my gameplay. And I'm taking my girlfriend's suggestion. By the way, love you. Don't take that seriously, please. Don't hurt me. But my girlfriend's great. She's amazing. And I'm really enjoying what we have right now. She was suggesting that since I have my creative wrestlers, that I would give some backstory to some of them every time I play the game. But I'm excited to be playing WWE 2K22. I've already installed it. I just have to wait till the game premieres on March 11th. I know some people are getting it on March 8th. Son of a bitch. But I didn't order the deluxe edition. That's why. So, yeah. Get ready for that. I will also be sharing some my match from WWE 2K20, which is still the worst game of all time, but I'll share that as well in the description. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday and enjoy your weekend. I love you all. Much love.